Hey guys, so today we're starting a whole new chapter into functions, which is pretty much what this whole next couple of years of your life is going to be about a story of functions. So this is the biggest part about functions is how to determine if a relation is a function. So what we're going to do is we're going to take out packet one. If you don't have it, please print it out from the Google Classroom that's below. And we're going to skip over the do now because that's just sort of a filler to kind of get us talking about functions since we can't do that. I want you to fill in the information as we go along in the video. Everything today is pretty much about vocab. So you are going to have to pause the video as we go along to make sure you're taking the proper notes. So right now we're going to be underneath the dashed lines for today's lesson on the first page of today's packet. And this is what it looks like. So in the blank space, you're going to fill in relation. A relation is a set of ordered pairs. Relations can be displayed in many ways, and these are the five that we can write them as. They could be a set of points. They could be in an equation. They could be a table, a function map, or a graph. So those are the five ways we display or show you what a relation could be like. Please pause the video and make sure you wrote down all of those notes for this part of the packet. Next, we're going to go underneath it, and a function is a relation whose x value does not repeat, or whose x value is paired with exactly one y value. So today's part, the whole point of today's lesson is how can we tell if a relation is a function or not. So I'm going to give you a couple examples of what are functions and some that are not, and then you guys are going to have to practice some on your own. So here are some examples that are functions. So again, we're always looking to see if something is a function, the x value does not repeat. So when we look at these set of ordered pairs, we know that the x values in that ordered pair are not repeating. We have a 4, an 8, a -9, and a -4. Those numbers do not repeat. Here in our x column, we have 3, 5, and 7. Those x values do not repeat. So this is a table that displays a function. The next one is the map below. Like, I can't move my cursor, but please follow along as I go along the map. If you notice, A maps to D, B maps to D, C maps to D. If you notice, none of the numbers in the X or letters in the X column or X coordinate repeat. They're A, B, and C. They're different elements. So therefore, they are not, this represents a function. The next one would be a graph. If we look at a graph, we want to see if it passes the vertical line test. To test that out, we take a vertical line and we move it along a function. If it only hits it once at each one of those points, it hits it once there, once there, once there, it's considered a function. If it hit it more than once, then it's not a function. And last but not least would be our equation. If you could plug an equation into y1 in your calculator, that is 95% a function. Now you're going to get into those later on algebra 2, but for right now, if we could put an equation into our function, into our calculator, we can look at the graph and see if it's a function or not. So generally speaking, if you could plug it into your calculator, it's a function. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go below and we're going to look at things that are not, okay, so sorry, stop and make sure you get all those notes down. Rewind the video if you need to. Now we're going to go down below to examples that are not functions. So technically speaking, we're looking for values where our function or relations where x values repeat or the graph does not pass the vertical line test. So looking at this set of ordered pairs here, you'll notice the 4 is a repeating x value. They both have a 4, therefore it's not a function. Let's move over here to the equation. You can't plug this into y1 because it's an x equals graph. So therefore, it's not a function. And another thing, we talked about it back in linear functions, it's a vertical line. A vertical line cannot pass the vertical line test. Therefore, this is not a function. All right, on to the table. If you look at the table, in the table, there are 2 repeating x values. The 3's repeat. Therefore, it is not a function. For the map, I'm going to skip over the 1 maps to 6, the 2 maps to 8, but I'm going to show you 3 maps to 6, 3 maps to 8, and 3 maps to 10. Therefore, 3 repeats. Therefore, it is not a function. And last but not least is our graph. Is our graph a function? No, because every time we move it, it doesn't pass the vertical line test. If you notice, it passes it twice here. Therefore, it doesn't pass just one time, it passes 2 times. If it passes more than once, it does not pass the vertical line test. It passes through the function here twice, does not pass the vertical line test. And same here. As long as you can draw a line through it one time and it doesn't pass the vertical line test, this is considered not a function. So what I'm going to ask you guys to do is make sure you get all these notes down. And then we are going to, pause the video, make sure you get your notes down. And then once you've gotten them all down and you go back and make sure you have it all understood, you're going to go to the Google Classroom and complete the Google form on functions. They're the same questions that are in the packet, but it's in a digital form so I can get some instant feedback from you. Okay, good luck. And if you have any questions,